Hello everyone, welcome back to MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. Last time out, we were building our reputation throughout the Inner Sphere as mercenaries, and we're going to continue to do that today until we hear some word on Black Inferno, the people responsible for killing our father. And once we can track them down, we'll go hunting for them. But right now, we've just got a bunch of generic mercenary jobs to take on. There is a couple high reward quests we'll be doing at the start of this episode, but before we get to them, I want to take a little bit of a diversion across the border into the Draconis Combine. First up, though, I do need to get some repairs done on our mechs. So let's begin with that here. This Centurion, we've got two here, and I am actually going to repair both of them. We may only have two pilots, but it'll allow us to take heavier mechs into a battle, and we won't need to wait for repairs either. Because we have two, I thought it would be fun to try and give some names to our mechs as we go through our adventure here. And the best I can come up with right now is Thing 1, and this one here, which also needs a paint job, can be Thing 2. And for all practical purposes, they're going to be identical in terms of loadout. Let's go look at that now. We do have replacement parts for everything. Why not? We'll give you the tier 2 ones. Thing 1 can have tier 1, Thing 2 can have tier 2. That makes sense in my head. And I'm going to swap this. I'm interested to try the new hot loaded at some point, but I actually don't think it makes much sense for this mech because it's already kind of heat limited. By the time they get into range for these weapons, we've got up there in heat, and an LRM-10 is just even more, or it's firepower I can't even use. I'm better off just sticking to these two. So yeah, I'd rather have better accuracy with the stream than with that hot loaded missiles that I wouldn't have been using at close range anyway. Right, I think everything else we have. Yes, we do. Perfect. So this should be good to go in 68 days. Normally that'd be a bit of a concern. At this stage in the campaign, where we are in the Inner Sphere, the penalties aren't so great that it's worth spending time going to an industrial hub to get repairs done. Later on, when these get much higher, you want to kind of save all your repairs up and then take a trip to one of those hubs and do everything at once. Save yourself a lot of time and money that way. This is going to take a chunk out of our cash, but you know what? It's fine. And this one, last up. Okay, we should be good to go. Let's build our little plants here. This is kind of a backup. 5 mechs, 2 pilots. That's not too bad. I don't think there's anything else we need to do at this stage. Or I take that back. There's a transmission here I want to read from Richard Markson, the colonel of Markson's Marauders, which is, I think, a mercenary battalion at this stage in the game. A rarity in the Inner Sphere because it fields almost exclusively one type of mech, that being Marauders. What else? In fact, later on in the setting, they rename themselves the Marauder 2s because somehow they are able to negotiate with Wolf's Dragoons and get an incredible number of Marauder 2 mechs, which are otherwise exclusive to that single mercenary unit, the Wolf's Dragoons. I think by the late clan invasion era, they are 80% Marauder 2s, which to me always, I kind of roll my eyes at. It sounds like somebody's homebrew. Oh yeah, my mech company I've come up with is the coolest because they use all annihilators. And you're like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, let's read this message. Great work, kid. I've been monitoring your progress with the MRB, and I think you've done enough to prove to the naysayers that the heir to Nick Mason's mantle has got what it takes. So here's the deal. Comstar does good work overseeing the MRB and their license contracts. It ensures that us mercs still get paid when we signed up what we signed up for, even if a client is unhappy, and it keeps mercs from bailing on their clients without severe penalties. It also helps Comstar because it lets them know all the comings and goings of the various Inner Sphere mercenaries, and they can perhaps even manipulate things behind the scenes to ensure that a faction gets the firepower it needs or is perhaps deprived of those same reinforcements that might have helped them win a battle. Since no one wants to feel the wrath of Comstar, oh yeah, whatever. But the fees that Comstar charges for their MRB services are just downright criminal. It ends up pricing out many folks who could use our talents from hiring us out for smaller jobs when we could be of service. Thing is, there is nothing out there that says mercs can't take non-licensed jobs from anyone. In fact, smaller outfits like our own often take on these smaller contracts on the side to help us float by. If you're looking to take on some more small-scale work, you'll need to touch bases with a fixer. They scout clients and then look to hook them up with mercs they feel are able to get them what they need. Typically, by setting up a meet in a regional cantina. If they hear that you are operating in their area of space, they will reach out and make their locations known to you on the star map. I've already put the word out there about you, kid, so Rihanna might already be seeing some leads contacting her for a meet. Get them what they need, and they'll sometimes even provide you with some upgrade blueprints that your techs can use to further augment your mechs. If you work hard and build up a rep for certain types of jobs, you'll even find more opportunities for lucrative assignments. Hell, you might even be offered up some rare tech if a fixer needs something done badly enough. Rest is up to you, kid. Give 'em hell. Thanks, Markson. We will never hear you again, or from you again. I don't think they're one of the mercenaries that can spawn during missions, or whatever. Speaking of cantinas, we've got one here. And we have a bunch of different objectives here. You can see they're going to reward us with a little bit of reputation. Also some specific cantina reputation as well. In fact, no, sorry, this is the one that's specific to the... How does it work? Oh yeah, okay, right. I'll show you in the screen in a second. Anyway, we've got 3 objectives. Kill 3 Jenners, kill 3 spiders. We've seen some of each, so we can easily take those. And then kill 10 missile carriers as well. And we'll get all these nice things. And here are the cantina missions all laid out for us. So there's 5 different varieties, and as we complete them, we will work our way up these career paths and be rewarded with various upgrades we can apply to our mechs along the way. I'm going to try and keep them fairly balanced as I go through, so if one is lagging behind, I will focus on that one in the cantina, even if it's a little bit trickier to get it done. I'm not going to try and overthink this and go for any specific upgrade. We'll just get whatever comes to us and then decide at the time whether it's worth applying to our mechs. That's everything for us in Pascagoula, where we are currently. So, I don't think there was any news. Nope. We can jump on. We're finished in Mercenary Row, but before we go to Inferno's Wake, the Reputation 4 area of the map, I want to hop across the border, like I was saying, to Valentina here. The reason being, there is something hidden there, which I think would be a great help to us at this point in time. So, it's 25th of October now. We've done just about as quick as we possibly could have to get to this reputation, because we did all the missions on that one high reward planet. Let's go and spend a month getting over to Valentina. The reason I'm coming here, I don't actually know the full story, but I think what happened was when this game first launched, there was kind of a promotional deal with Razer for computer accessories like mice, keyboards, that kind of thing. And what I presume happened is they sent, if you purchase one of their products, they'd send you an email or something, and you'll see why I'm saying this in a second, because we have a transmission from Rihanna here. And it says, Commander, those documents you uncovered appear to be more than just historical records. Well, what documents? This is in the game regardless of whether you signed up for that promotion. But, you know, whatever. They were encoded transmissions. Oh, don't ask me to say this. Nemo me impune lecessit. I'm sure that was perfect Latin there. No one provokes me with impunity. Growing up among the clans of the Northwind Highlanders, my father taught me that those words hold a special meaning among them. They were the words of the Starleague Defence Force's Royal Blackwatch Regiment, the personal guard of the First Lord of the Starleague, a unit that originated among the Highlanders and became the personal bodyguards to the First Lord of the Starleague. Just said that. Before the collapse of the League turned what remained of us into mercenaries. So there's an interesting history with the Northwind Highlanders and the Blackwatch. Even though they were mercenaries, the family ties between 2 great kind of Scottish clans, the Camerons and I forget what family, settled Northwind originally meant that they were linked by, I think, marriage and various other things. And frequently, MechWarriors from Northwind would serve within the Blackwatch. Even after the fall of the Star League, a small cabal within the Northwind Highlanders, numbering no more than maybe a dozen at any given time in history, kept the traditions of the Blackwatch alive throughout the centuries. So for Rihanna to know about this, that means she was one of a very elite few within the Northwind Highlanders. And yeah, perhaps that was perceived as somewhat of a betrayal then when she left that unit to join the Eridani Light Horse. Where were we? While the Ionosphere believes that they died off in the Amaris coup that preceded the collapse of the Star League, my father believed that some survived and began to stage guerrilla actions while hiding their advanced equipment. It's true, they did. Among some of the Highlanders, this expression is used to indicate coded messages when we believe that others are watching. I gave those documents a closer look and discovered hidden transmission codes. I broadcast those codes shortly after we left the system's jump point, and, amazingly, we received a ping back from a long-range beacon originating from an asteroid field in the system. The beacon led us to an SLDF-marked battlemech orbital drop cocoon masked by the small Oryx asteroid it had been attached to. Without that beacon, no one would have even known it was there. Readings indicate there may still be a mech in the cocoon. Let's get Fahad prepped for recovery and see what we've got here. Well, we have a Wolverine, but not just anyone. This is a Wolverine 2, the WVR-7H, and it is loaded with Lost Tech. It's got a UAC, that's an ultra autocannon, a pulse laser, and an SRM with the Artemis system, which improves its accuracy. Well, that is going to be a great help to us. Still don't have any more news, so I think we're just going to turn around now. We've done what we came here for, grabbing this. Nothing interesting at the industrial hubs that I can see. And we're going to do a long journey back down through Mercenary Row to Inferno's Wake here. The Black Inferno has left a trail of death and destruction in their campaign of violence. The nearby systems, home to sparsely populated agricultural and industrial worlds, have all suffered greatly. All that remains in this ravaged part of the Ionosphere are desperate civilians and advantageous vultures looking to pick at the scraps. This is where we want to go. When we arrive there, we should have a new transmission explaining things a little bit clearer. So let's go. I don't think there's any reason to hang around. Just like that though, we are losing, 110 days in travel time. So, thing 2 is refit, thank goodness. We have some news. It is February 12th, 2016. We are 1 year into the game. And we have some Cantina missions as well. Well, we're likely to see assassins. We probably can collect some heat sinks. And these jump jets too, I would like to have. All good things. Let's check our news, first of all. Well, we've got a bunch of stuff that's happened very recently here. December 5th, end of last year, New Avalon Institute of Science opening receives royal fanfare. Tonight, first prince of the Federated Commonwealth. Federated Commonwealth? Not yet. Not for another few decades. Hans Adavian commemorated the opening of the New Avalon Institute of Science with a royal procession at the newly opened campus outside Avalon City. In a speech given to the New Avalon media, Prince Davian expressed hope that the new Institute of Higher Learning would one day lead humanity back into a new golden age, unheard of since the collapse of the Star League. The NAIS will be financed through generous donations by the Davian estate. With the Institute's grounds and over 3,000 ancient Star League techs and data caches being donated to the NAIS by Prince Davian himself. The Institute's inaugural class will begin in the spring of 2016, and with degrees offered in biology, medicine, engineering, metallurgy, chemistry, finance, political administration, and military science. These techs and data caches were part of what was known, or what became known as the Halstead Collection. It's a number of Star League documents that were recovered during the raid on Halstead Station, in which Nyx Cavaliers took on their first assignment. First assignment as Nyx Cavaliers after the death of Chloe Reed. So, let's move on. Yoranaga Kurita returns to Mallory's world in force. New Year's Eve celebrations have been cut short on Mallory's world as a Kurita assault force appeared at the system's jump point and has begun a full burn towards the planet. In a system-wide emergency broadcast, the Duke of Mallory's world, Rodcole Miller, has announced that they believe the assault force to belong to elements of both the 36th Dieron Regulars and the 2nd Sword of Light, led by Yoranaga Kurita himself. The 2nd Swords of Light are the personal regiment of Coordinator Takashi Kurita, so normally anything that prestigious would be led by a general or the Kuritan equivalent, which I think is Taisho, but because it is officially commanded by the Coordinator, regardless of whether or not he's present, Yoranaga Kurita is ranked as a Taisa, as a... What's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't want to take that prestige away from his superior, his cousin, the Coordinator. Following Duke Miller's announcement, Morgan Kell of the prestigious Kellhounds mercenary unit attempted to calm the public with his own statement. "We've defeated Yoranaga Kurita before, and I assure you we will do it again." It's true. So Ian Davian was killed here a couple years ago, same day our mother was killed, and by Yoranaga Kurita, and before they could secure the First Prince's body, though, the Kellhounds arrived and kind of drove them off. It has only been 2 years since the previous assault on Mallory's world by the 2nd Sword of Light attempted to destroy the 4th Davian Guards. While eventually repelled, the Davian victory came at a great cost, with First Prince Ian Davian killed at the hands of Yoranaga Kurita's Warhammer. And for that achievement, even though he couldn't end up claiming the body, he was promoted, because I think the Taisa who was in charge at that time was killed by the First Prince. Anyway, January 14th, Need for Speed supercharged mech culture makes its way to the battlefield. For over a millennium, humans have flocked to spectator sports built around the desire to push a vehicle to its absolute limit. Superchargers allow a mech to override the various inhibitors on its fusion reactor in order to boost a mech's raw speed. While most commonly seen in various mech racing and gladiatorial arenas such as those found on Solaris 7, they have also found their way to the many battlefields of the Inner Sphere. None of the great houses utilize superchargers in their standing armies, keen to avoid the risk of damaging expensive fusion reactors. That has not stopped the spread of superchargers among various black markets and their adoption by pirates and periphery states alike. Indeed, we'll see various variants of mech chassis in this game marked with P. So, for example, I don't know, Centurion CN9P. And I guess in the context of the game, the P stands for pirate or periphery. But I think of them as denoting a PGI designed mech because none of them are officially part of Battletech canon. But they make use of all those arena-like components like melee weapons and superchargers. Anyway, we've come all this way. We have two different messages here. We can read them both. This is an open call to any and all mercenary commands in the region. Our humble farming complex has suffered greatly at the hands of the Black Inferno. They came through, took out our meagre defences, and put many of our fields to the torch, and pirate raiders calling themselves Vogel's Vandals have plagued us ever since. We are clinging to what precious little we have left here, but we've pooled our funds and are offering honest pay to any command willing to protect our home from these raiders, drive them away from our planet so that we can live in peace. And we have a warning here. It tells us that accepting this contract will cause Interstellar Expeditions to retract their picking up the scraps contract offer. Or picking at the scraps. Let's check that first. Nearby systems have been caught in the wake of the Black Inferno's march, so they're vulnerable and exposed. Most of these worlds are simple farming and extraction planets, but they still offer valuable resources that my clients are looking to acquire at, shall we say, reasonable prices. If you're willing to look past any moral quandaries, we'd like you to help us grab the supplies we need by staging a diversionary raid. If you drop into the affected planet and grab the attention of whatever defences are still viable, then we will send in salvage crews while you're engaging the locals. Anything of value our teams find beyond what we need will be your payment for this contract. If it helps orient your moral compass, don't think of the job as aiding and abetting thievery. Think of the job as accelerated negotiations. Our clients need these supplies far more than the local people do. Without them, they'll survive, but our clients won't. So we saw some of this in the previous mission we did for Interstellar Expeditions, where we were sent to hunt down that officer within Harlock's Warriors. They're not a completely morally good faction. They are, opportunists in every sense of the word. They'll happily exploit the chaos wrought by the Black Inferno to pick up some easy salvage. Speaking of, we have a bunch of rewards. It doesn't tell us what they are, but I can tell you. This one here will give us a mech, and this one here will give us some lost tech. But because of the restrictions I'm putting on myself in terms of the challenges and how much I'm allowed to modify mechs, quite frankly, at this stage in the game, lost tech isn't that big of a draw for me. We only have what little that came with our Wolverine too, so I'm gonna just go for the mech. I'd rather have that greater variety at this stage, even if I happen to know the mech we get isn't that exciting. And also, this is the option that will make me feel better about myself helping the civilians. So we've already come to Keatsville, and we have 2 missions here, but we're going to do this one first. Pirate raiders have been attacking our now vulnerable farmlands, stealing everything they can get their filthy hands on, and destroying everything else, including valuable and hard to replace farming equipment. Without some form of armed protection, our upcoming harvest will be doomed, and we will be unable to feed ourselves in the coming seasons. Well, we don't want that. So, let's max out. 11 pips is unlikely to get us any salvage unless we wear something down to the bone. But you never know. Either way, a little bit of cash would be nice because we spent quite a bit repairing that second Centurion thing too. Let's go for this.
Heavy weather warning is in effect, Commander. Your visibility and sensor readings will be compromised out there.
Copy, Rihanna. Even though you do have some bonuses with the Jenna on account of your traits, Freeman, it's mostly maneuverability ones, which, to be honest, aren't that exciting to me. The AI don't benefit from it that much when they're the ones who are following me around all the time. I'd rather give you this Centurion, and then we can take... Well, you know what? Let's take our Wolverine. It's probably going to be overkill. We are 55 tons under. What kind of mission are we doing? It would have been beneficial to have looked. Whatever. We should be fine. I'm not expecting anything too difficult now that we've got the Wolverine. This mech is so powerful in the early game.
We're gonna get to the agricultural
Who's that?
and hold off the Vandals until their forces
Friendly, thank God.
I know it doesn't look like we'll be protecting much, but this is all these farmers have.
Whoa, you weren't lying about visibility. I'm glad that was a friendly mech that spawned right beside us. Don't ask me why. I want an answer. Somebody can explain it to me. Why do friendly mechs always spawn in like a totally wrecked state? It's clearly not a glitch because it's been that way since launch. And there are some missions where they spawn full health, but the defense missions, it's always, like we saw with that Blackjack in the tutorial. I can't see a thing in there. This is like, well, that is certainly not going to help it. I don't know why I even tried that.
Target acquired.
With this ultra autocannon, the UAC, there's going to be a lot of clicking, so I'll warn you for that now. I'll try my best to edit it out. Get in there, I need someone to be aggressive here.
Enemy contacts have breached the outer perimeter. Make sure they regret that decision, Commander.
This visibility is actually throwing me off because I don't want to approach in case somebody comes from the other angle.
Additional bogies setting an intercept course on
Phoenix
your
Hawk.
position.
First sighting on one of those.
New target.
On your target, Commander.
You go for him. I'll quickly deal with this tank. I'll try to. Pulse laser. There he goes. Oh, I'm getting flanked.
Target acquired.
Priority target acknowledged.
Let's
Commander.
make this Commando our first one of those as well. Oh, look. Commando Pete. Jesus. I think I just got slammed by SRMs there.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Okay.
Airlocks are lighting up with additional bogies, Commander.
I'm
Our
off.
ultimate target is on the field. Let's take it down.
I forget this thing has no heat concern, so it should be firing everything way quicker than I am. Okay, he's toothless now. What do we got? A fire starter, a Vulcan, and something else. That was a lot of damage for you to take there. A spider is one of our objectives here. I think he's closest, so let's go for him first.
Skull unit has a visual on Mercenary scum.
He's lost a leg.
That leg is right, bitch. Quit that.
Another one down.
Destroyed. Target acquired.
Let's make this Vulcan it.
Target, Commander.
It's not that big of a threat, Vulcan, but he's already cored.
Heat critical.
Enemy mech eliminated.
Down.
Target acquired.
Targeted and moving in.
Fire starter is something I don't really want to get close.
Enemy reinforcements are
Whoa,
spotted in
I'm
the
real
area.
close to
They look
overheating.
like they're heading your way.
Gonna put some distance between me and it. Let the Yerby take some heat. The Yerby's only got a small laser left. Why am I firing missiles at this range? He's lost his other arm now. Let's take his leg off if we can. There we go. There's another medium on the field. Oh, there's two other mediums. This is way more...
Target destroyed.
Tango
Right,
engaged.
I'm gonna go and deal with you first because...
Storage complex has been destroyed.
I know, this is kind of
Find out what was
deliberate.
stored there.
Got another one.
There's too many guys here.
Engaging Tango.
Did not expect, what is this, 2 full Lancers we've gone up against in this mission.
Target acquired.
2 Phoenix Hawks. This is the one I want you to fire at. I can't see him, he's in the gloom there. This is some of the worst visibility I've ever come across in this game. Oh, bad shot. Arms are off. He's toothless. Let's go for that. Friendly is okay. He's not at risk of losing any weapons that I can see. Take a shotgun rocket to your face there.
Nasty hit there.
Get that other arm off him.
Target acquired.
Ah, bad aim. There he goes.
Systems blown to bits.
Target destroyed.
No more signs of enemy forces. Good job, Commander.
That was,
Feels nice to stand up for the little guy.
yeah. That was way more than I was anticipating in this early game mission, but whatever. We had at least 3 Phoenix Hawks in that mission. If we'd had one of those as our cantina, we could have cashed in early. And we're a quarter of the way at least to level 5 already. 11 salvage, but not a single mech. That is garbage. Whatever. We'll take these then. We've got none of them. We haven't got any burst fire. We've got no replacement flamers. We'll take one of those. We're never going to need this many jump jets. So let's just make sure we've got at least one of everything. And we'll keep these for the value and we can sell them later. You drove them off for now. How long before they decide to come back? Will you consider extending the terms of your contract in case they do come calling again? Trust me, that little patch of ground you're fighting for ain't worth the trouble. But if you insist on fighting my vandals again, then name the place. I guarantee you it will be the last sight you ever see. I'm always curious what the hazard pay is. Like, it's always just like a tiny trivial amount of extra, but I don't see any reason for it, any justification or explanation. We should have enough Cantina mission now to cash in those heat sinks. Okay. You can see a lot of damage done by this Wolverine there. Thank goodness we had, it has improved armor as well, because we took quite a pounding. The Wolverine, the Centurion though, did well. Challenge accepted. I don't even know what that was for. Can we find out? Where are we? Oh, here. Complete 5 missions with your lance at least 50 tons under max tonnage in a campaign or career. I don't think we've done a single mission where we weren't under 50 tons since the tutorial was over. Okay, well, there we go. I don't think we get anything extra for these, but it's nice to have all the same. And we can cash in our heat sinks. Good. And we get a first upgrade. A compact magnetic shielding system allows more space to be used for insulation, allowing the jump jet to operate longer before overheating prevents operation. Not a big concern for us. Longer burn time is, yeah, it's not essential. Maybe there are some mechs it'll be more useful on later, but I doubt it. Not worth spending the cash on at this stage. We're not going to look at the mech market because we're not spending anything. We're a little bit closer to level 5. We can take another Cantina mission while we're here. Collect autocannon tier 2s. I don't think we have any of those. Let's take this, J. Edgar's. Oh, you know what? No, we won't. We'll take this mech collector here. Collect 1 cicada. It will be good to get that. That's what we'll do. And where are we? Oh yeah, okay. So at the end of that last mission, the farmer said they might have an extra offer for us. You really stuck it to those vandals, and we can't thank you enough. But you kicked the hornet's nest a bit too hard. When they come back for vengeance, for revenge even, they'll take it out on us. Fortunately, one of our own managed to pick up radio chatter about their home base, which is in a nearby system. If you go there and take out their leader, Victor Vogel, his vandals may scatter and finally leave this part of the inner sphere for good. Please, this might be our only chance. We accept that offer. We will do exactly what she's asking. It is 2 jumps away at Macomb? Somebody told me that all these planets around here are from a specific state in the US. Like I think Lexington and Wanaque might be other ones. They're like cities or towns from some one specific state. Let's go here. There is an assassination mission here, but I'd rather just get the High Reward quest done at the start of each chapter, and then after that we can look at some of the others. I'll just double check there's nothing in the industrial hubs. No, nothing of interest. Anyway, let's jump. Oh, you know what? No, there's one other thing I want to do before we jump. We can review our database. Commando was new, so let's start with that. We haven't seen a cicada yet, so I don't know why it's even there. Commando 2B, originally designed by Coventry Metalworks to compete against other popular light mechs of the era, the Commando is a slightly heavier scout, easily capable of handling any other recon units it may encounter probably. Impressed by its capabilities, the Light and Commonwealth commissioned the Commando into service in 2486 for its exclusive use, employing whatever bureaucratic and diplomatic tools were needed to keep the chassis out of its enemies' hands. So this is a design that's over 5 centuries old by this point. Firestarter, that was new as well. A specialty battle mech originally designed in 2550, the Firestarter became the de facto standard for incendiary platforms, with production numbering well into the thousands. Firestarters were a common sight among house and mercenary troops throughout the Succession Wars. Still common today, Firestarters are often seen as replacements in recon lances instead of their intended specialized role. So I think the H is the standard pattern. There is older variants before it kind of settled on this design here with the flamers and machine guns. A couple medium lasers in there as well by the looks of things. What commando did we see? I think it was one of the periphery ones, the 2P or the PGI ones, wherever you want to look. So yeah, this one here has got the supercharger that we just read about in a news article. I think that must come in place of maybe a slightly larger SRM pack. And some armor maybe. What else do we see? Do we have a collect Jenner? Why is... I didn't notice that, but okay, whatever. That's why the Cicada was highlighted earlier as well, because we picked up a request for I'm sure we had a Phoenix Hawk. There we go. A true relic of the Star League era, the Phoenix Hawk was produced in great numbers, a staple of recon lances since its inception in 2568, so 3 years before the Star League started. The basic Phoenix Hawk model has been in the standard service of every house military since the fall of the Star League, and is still produced, or being reintroduced, in almost every successor state. Its mix of speed, jump capability, and laser weaponry make it an ideal scout. So the 1 is just the standard variant there. And I think... oh, we did a Vulcan as well. And the Wolverine I didn't read. The Star League Defense Forces' push into the Rimwell's Republic, occupied Terran hegemony, proved a need for an effective anti-infantry mech. Bitter close quarters fighting on the city streets meant the League was losing mechs to Republic infantry. The SLDF quickly fielded queries to manufacturers for a new mech to solve their problem. In 2777, Mother Techno answered with the Vulcan. Its armament and armor are designed for combat against infantry, and it's effective there, but means it comes up lacking against mechs its own size. The Vulcan is at least highly mobile and presents a narrow silhouette, earning it the nickname Scarecrow. I think the 2T is the standard, a real mix of random weapons, none of which are particularly exciting. At some point we'll pick one up. It's a slightly funky looking mech. I don't know, it is interesting looking. It's not a good looking mech, but it's definitely got character. And lastly, the Wolverine, and this was the Wolverine 2 here. Introduced in 2575 as the newly created Star League Defense Force prepared for inevitable conflict with periphery realms, the Wolverine was produced in prodigious numbers, conceived as a heavy scout, capable of undertaking assignments too hazardous for lighter mechs. The Wolverine has served with distinction throughout the Inner Sphere. And I forgot, we never even took a close look at this mech here, with the Razor logo on it. It's also got green tinted missiles and cockpit canopy there. I think everything else is a kind of standard gold and yellow for the missiles. It's a good looking mech, and it's one that we actually need to repair before we go anywhere else. So let's get on that. I don't think you lost anything important. No. So we can fully repair everything. And it'll take 11 days, so it'll be done by the time we get to the next drop, which is good. To Macomb then. Macomb. We have a little bit of news here. Let's quickly check that. February 20th, 3016, Kuritan forces begin withdrawal from Mallory's world. Yorinaga Kurita has called for the withdrawal of all DCMS forces as the fourth Battle of Mallory's World comes to a close in what can only be described as an unbelievable turn of events. With Yorinaga Kurita moving to box in the Kellhound's 2nd Battalion, Kellhound's commander Morgan Kell and his archer Tempest moved out from behind Kellhound's fortifications and challenged Yorinaga Kurita to single combat. The Kuritan samurai could not resist and accepted his challenge. Now we're in 3016, we have access potentially to the hero mech Tempest. So these news articles, we saw one earlier for this, introducing a new mech we might see on the field. oftentimes you'll hear mention of hero mechs as well, and you'll start seeing them popping up at industrial hubs after that. We may get lucky and see it later on. What happened next is a mystery. Both the AWFS and the Kellhounds have refused to provide the media with any official statement on what transpired. Unconfirmed eyewitness statements describe that Kell's Tempest was brought to its knees and was on the verge of defeat when the Archer mysteriously disappeared from all computer readings. Some claiming Kurita's shots passed right through the Tempest as if the mech was nothing more than a phantom on the field. Since the battle, Morgan Kell has refused to comment publicly on its outcome. Both he and the Tempest have withdrawn from the public eye, leaving his brother Patrick Kell in command of the famed mercenary unit. This story, of course, is from the Warrior trilogy. The details of this I'm not going to spoil currently, but I can tell you, after he withdrew to his monastery over in I think it's the Light and Commonwealth, Free Wells League border area, the Kellhounds kind of flew apart. They were currently, at the time of this news article, they were a full regiment, and afterwards all the different battalions and companies went their separate ways. Patrick Kell, I think, ended up leading, 2 companies of mechs and a single company of jump infantry. So yeah, it couldn't hold a candle to what had come before it. But yeah, as you can imagine, Yorinaga Kurita did not get away from this scot-free. He himself was exiled to a different monastery on the opposite corner of the Inner Sphere not long afterwards. Anyway, we came here for a reason. A difficulty 18 assassination, somewhat concerning. The last one was 14 and we only just got through it. The pirate band, Vogel's Vandals, fled our planet, but they'll be back once they get a chance to lick their wounds at their home base. If you can get the drop on them while they're distracted, you might have a chance to remove their remorseless leader from the equation and make them reconsider attacking us again. I just spotted. Here's where it said the duration. I was looking for this the other day when I was recording the previous chapter. We're going to take this. We are going to assassinate somebody, so you know what? That's a lot of salvage. Do I take this risk? I think I will. We've got barely 6 million though. It's not a lot. And we didn't get any salvage in the previous mission, and we killed more mechs then than we're likely to this time round. I'll take a chance. We're going to get a little bit of... I didn't even look at what the cost of repairs were in the last mission. I don't think it was insignificant. Hopefully this will enough to offset the costs, so. And we will begin. Same mechs again. You're in thing 1, which is fine, and I'm going to stick with this Wolverine. We are 70 tons underweight now. Kind of concerning. I'm unsure if I want to... you know what, I'll take the chance, and regret it afterwards.
Somewhere up ahead is the leader of Vogel's Vandals. Knowing these raider crews, once their leader is killed, their organization will spiral into chaos. Hopefully, that'll be enough to get them to leave our employers be.
Got it. Jesus, hello.
Nearly there, Commander. Approach the hidden object to pick it up.
It took like 2 seconds for us to get engaged there.
Close enough. Ready to start pickup operation.
What do we get for our trouble?
Cargo acquired.
An LRM-20, okay. You know what, those are surprisingly rare. In the early game, anyway. This is a rare map where I actually have to use the night vision. It's like pitch black here. I got my brightness turned down on the screen, but like even still. Oh, hello, okay.
Engaging your target, Commander.
No.
Incoming missile.
I don't know what he just stepped on there, but it did a bunch of damage to him. I want my Centurion to LRM him. We'll draw him out. I don't know why I'm pulse lasering at this range. Take his arm off.
Looks like we got some bad intel. Our
There he
target
goes.
is not here. Let's hope we have better
Side torso's
luck
gone
at
as
these
well.
locations.
Target
That's how you
destroyed.
kill a Centurion. Did a surprising amount of damage before he went down though. Let's head up. Go this way. This really is like the darkest map I think I've ever spawned into in this game. It's good. I don't think there's enough darkness in video games in general. Strange observation, I know, but like so often you'll do like a night mission in a game and it's like incredibly bright. The moon's giving off more light than 1,000 suns. Hello.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Target acquired, Commander.
Forget this is jumps.
Jump jet fuel low. Jump jet fuel empty. Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Engaging Tango.
It's an AC one, it can get us from range. Well, I'm jammed. It's not firing, so I won't push my luck.
Target
Who's
acquired.
pursuing us here?
Acquired, Commander.
Get out of here.
Destroyed.
Is that
Unable,
another?
Commander, sorry.
Okay, let's not waste any more time here. Oh, Jesus!
This area cleared.
It's a bad thing to come over a crest into. Oh, God, there's another one.
Target destroyed.
We needed to kill a couple of those for the cantina. Who's shooting it up? Was another AC turret, I think.
On the move, following you.
New target.
Oh, hello.
Hit it and moving
Okay,
in.
well, he's come to us. I don't know where to aim on a Shadowhawk. This is a P variant. Oh, he's gonna punch me. Oh, he's definitely gonna punch me. That was a very concerning noise. What was that?
Hostile blew off part of my mech.
System.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't realize it was that bad. Okay, okay, okay. Shoot my rear armor for a second there. I need the Centurion to get aggro.
Target
Don't overheat.
acquired.
Please go down.
Right, target is down. Good work. I
Jesus.
think the farmers in this region will be able to breathe a little easier today.
Acquired.
We fulfilled our contract, Commander.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get you out of here now.
That was
Negative on
a
last.
bit messy.
Sorry, Commander. On your 6, Commander.
Target.
Everyone run. That is a bad thing to have come over. There's another Shadowhawk. Okay, I'm just going to take these hits.
Moving to requested grid, Commander.
Target destroyed.
Oh my God, there was another one there. A crab? What was that? That was Starling Mech pitched up at the end there. Good grief. Well, you know what? I'm not too... Well, we don't want a third Centurion. I'll have a Shadowhawk here. It's kind of a goofy one. I think that's a pretty close to standard loadout. It's swapped an AC5 for a medium rifle, which is kind of the down tech periphery version of it. But otherwise, I think the loadout is standard. It's got a supercharger too. I'll take it. I'll take it. And a couple of those for the cash. Oh, actually, that's bad for cash. I'd rather have these. Yeah. We don't need a third Centurion, be ridiculous. Stuck around, get that crab at the end while we were getting overrun. We went from having only one mech at a time to deal with to suddenly like 4 on the field at once. There may be other marauders out there, but that's the last we'll see of Vogel's Vandals. Now our crops can truly prosper. Come share the bounty of our harvest with us. Sounds like a cult here we've been working for. Vogel was obsessed with that mud bowl for some reason, and we hated every second there. Good riddance. So congratulations, you did us a favor. You won't be seeing us around these parts again. Maybe that's why we only saw one enemy at once, and then suddenly they all appeared at the end after we'd killed the guy they wanted dead. Look at that. Some good XP. You've leveled up in evasion. That'll keep you alive. I did less damage there. the cost of this, because it's got, hang on, I really haven't had a good look at this thing. Let's do this first. There are no words to express our thanks. We know you're only in this for money, but we like to believe there's some goodness in you as well. We don't have much, but as a demonstration of our gratitude, we'd like to present you with this ancient battle mech that's been in our family for generations. It's not doing us any good just sitting here rusting away, so consider it yours. It's old and doesn't quite work right, but something tells me you'll find a way to put it to good use. A cicada, and one that needs repairs as well. Rusting, I think they described it as. You know what, I'm not going to turn my nose up at it, but the cicada is an infamously underperforming mech for its tonnage. It's basically the same as our Locust, except twice the weight. And barely any extra armor. Fractionally faster though, which is crazy. Oh, Jesus, we're at the end of this episode already. We have reached rank 5, regular. Our reputation across the Innisphere is growing. And I think it says the same thing every single time. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave things. I'm not going to cash in this cicada just yet. I will do a mission with it first. This was a real fireball planet. I didn't even notice that before then. We will check our news and do a little odds and ends first. I want to get this repaired, but we might go to an industrial hub to do it at the start of the next episode. And do we even have a replacement? We haven't lost the medium rifle or supercharger, so we should be able to field it straight away. We'll read news, if nothing else. Disgraced commander exiled by coordinator. Following his defeat on Mallory's World, Yorinaga Kurita travelled directly to Luthien's Unity Palace to present himself to the coordinator and explain his failure. Today, following a private meeting held between the two men, the coordinator declared in a public statement that henceforth Yorinaga Kurita would be stripped of all ranks and titles and declared persona non grata. Furthermore, he is to be exiled to a monastery on the remote Echo 5 system to spend the rest of his days reflecting on his failure to the Dragon. The DCMS has yet to comment on who will take Yorinaga's place at the head of the Second Sword of Light, but given that the Second remains one of the Dragon's premier combat units, it is hard to believe that its top position will remain vacant for long. And I'm just realizing now, if you've played MechWarrior 5 Clans, you've come across the Second Sword of Light, both in the base game, at Luthien, and in the Flashstorm DLC. At that point in time, it was commanded by Kelly Tokdo, I think her name was. Yeah, I mean, at this point in history, 3016, it would have been unthinkable to have a woman, of all things, crazy, I know, in charge of a whole MechWarrior regiment within the Draconis Combine. But Theodore's reforms that will come later in the next couple decades saw them move away and open up positions based more on merit compared to who best fit the idealized sense of, I don't know, Bushido they had. Anyway, I think that's where we're going to leave things off. What we can do, one more thing, just to end it then. We will check out what new things. There was a crab at the end there, but I don't think it's showing up because I didn't kill it. I take it back, it was. But we'll check out our cicada we got here. The original cicada was destroyed by a small firm, Hartford Company, I suppose, whose previous manufacturing experience has been confined to to communications and targeting systems. Designed as a supplement or replacement for the popular Locust mech, the Cicada found limited use by the Star League after its introduction in 2740. Although it was more expensive than the Locust, its increased mass gave it advantages that the Star League found useful. The Cicada's prime assets are its speed and its lack of ammunition concerns. Unfortunately, it only carries the armor of a mech half its size. We have... Oh, did we need to cash in one specific variant that I didn't notice? Whatever. We won't overthink it at the moment. We saw a crab. I can't believe it. This is an incredibly rare thing to see at this stage in the game, but whatever. When originally built for the Star League in 2719, the approach taken by Kusara Weaponries was to create a battle mech that was easily maintained and well suited for high endurance raiding far from supply lines. The Crab was seen by many as a reliable standby and the eventual standard for SLDF medium mechs. The League's collapse orphaned the design, however, and the loss of ferrofibrous armor production eventually led to centuries where the surviving units were downgraded to carry standard armor. Even still, the crab's elegant simplicity practically assured that enough would survive to the present era. I take it back then, I guess it was slightly more common than I was thinking. The crabs use a slightly different numbering system, which is shared by, I think, the Kintaro and a handful of other mechs, where the numbers, rather than denote a kind of next generation of mech, reflect the fact that it has been downgraded over time. So I think the original crab was a CRB-27, and the CRB-20 has lost that ferrofibrous armor and some of maybe the extra range large lasers. What else did we see? We saw a Shadowhawk. In fact, we were able to salvage one. If I can find it. I don't think we saw anything else, no. This was the P variant, which is close to the original, but as I already explained, it's got a medium rifle. After an unfortunate and costly false start caused by quality and safety issues, the Shadowhawk, now seen throughout the Inner Sphere, began production in 2550. With a diverse array of armaments, the Shadowhawk is a highly adaptable chassis, able to fit into almost any situation where a mech might be needed. And I think that's everything here. Yes. Okay, we've definitely read it all now. And that is where we're going to leave things for today. Next time we'll pick up starting by talking to Rihanna, and we're also going to look at getting our third pilot. We made it through the stage of the game where we're restricted to 2 without any real challenges. And yeah, this was a much shorter episode than I was expecting, but next time we'll have another couple hide award quests, and I think our first campaign mission in a while as well. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I hope you join me soon for another video.